Senate will come to order. The senators will take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators. Good morning, guests. Senators and those in our gallery, if you are able, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by the Reverend Michael Maiden of Bon Air United Methodist Church of Chesterfield. Following the prayer, everyone will please remain standing, and we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our Senate page, Silas McDonald of Newport News.
And day 12, we're 1/5 of the way through, amen? Amen. And thank you for your work. Let's pray together. Immortal, invisible, God only wise, we live in times that test our resolve, yet you remain in control. May there be peace on earth. May your might empower our lawmakers to carve tunnels of hope through mountains of despair and unite them to work in one mind with fresh ideas as they pray, speak, and act on behalf of every Virginian so that each person may live in freedom, safety, health, prosperity, and joy. And may your grace and wisdom pursue these, thy servants, so that the truth in their hearts is not only proclaimed by their voices, but put into action by their work. In your almighty name, amen and amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, please vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Madam President. Senate Journal for Wednesday, January 24th, 2024.
The senator from Chesapeake, Senator Craig, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All those in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 1.
Ayes 38, noes 1. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates. Chair now recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Surraville.
Got it right today. Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
I'd move to waive reading of the communication from the House.
The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the House of Delegates be waived? All in favor of waiving the reading of the communication will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 1.
Ayes 37, noes 1. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the governor.
We do not have any, Madam President.
We have arrived at the time in our morning hour when we will discover who are all of our wonderful guests are in the gallery. And the normal procedure is that your senator will rise and introduce you. And please rise at that time when you hear the name of your group or your name being called. And hold your applause until then. I will speak to recognize you as well and welcome you on behalf of the senators. And then we'll applause. So with that, I now call on the senator from Colonial Heights, Senator Sturtevant.
Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Madam President, I'd like to bring to the chair's attention Pastor Michael Mayton, who led us in the prayer this morning, joining us in the gallery. Reverend Michael Mayton is pastor at Bonaire United Methodist Church in Chesterfield County. We appreciate him being here and offering the prayer this morning, and please offer him the warm welcome of the Senate.
Thank you for that prayer, Reverend Mayton. Thank you for what you do in your community. Thank you for helping to heal the souls and the sacrifices, of course, that you and your family do make. Senators, let us give him the warm welcome of his Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Carol Foy, the senator from Eastern Prince William.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. It is with great enthusiasm that I present CASA during their Community Impact Day, where CASA's staff came to discuss the services they offer in the communities they serve. We also welcome their Mi Espacio and ESOL students from CASA's Education Department as they are motivating and preparing these students for college or the workforce. With a remarkable national presence of over 155,000 Latinos, immigrants, and working-class individuals, CASA stands as a beacon of dedication to building power and enhancing the quality of life in working-class communities. Specifically honing in on Black, Latino, Afro-descendant, indigenous, and immigrant communities, CASA focuses on three essential pillars: community organizing, community service, and community advocacy. Some of the community services include immigration integration, health, tax preparation, and education programs. This approach ensures that CASA comprehensively addresses the diverse needs, aspirations, and dreams of its members. Today, let us take a moment to commend the invaluable community service and unwavering dedication of CASA as they persistently pave the way towards a more equitable and just society. Together, we celebrate their commitment to creating positive change and shaping a brighter future for all of us. And I hope you all join me in welcoming them to the Capitol.
Welcome. Welcome to your Senate. And I heard the senator say that you serve as a beacon. So many of us need that light to shine the path on how to be better people. Thank you for doing that. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator McDougall, the senator from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. In the gallery today, we have a group of state officers from the Virginia FFA, which used to be known as the Future Farmers of America. Madam President, you've probably seen a number of blue jackets around the Capitol today. These individuals are from different chapters and from the state officers. I had the opportunity to meet with a group from Gloucester, a group from Atlee, a group from Hanover, a group from Mechanicsville, and a group from Fluvanna today. Madam President, the FFA is a tremendous organization for our students, one that I was actively involved in and was a state officer back in the day with Secretary Lohr as well. If you could offer them the thanks of the Senate and give them the warm welcome to our body as they all decide to stand up now.
Good afternoon to all of you, our very young leaders. And to be in leadership sometimes can be a daunting task, and the fact that you have adopted that position at such a young age is remarkable indeed. Thank you for all that you do for our community, and you are indeed our future, but that future starts now, not sometime later. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you. Today, we are pleased to welcome members of the Chesapeake School Board and Superintendent Dr. Jared Cotton to the General Assembly. Chesapeake Public Schools has garnered recognition as one of the top 3 best employers in Virginia, according to Forbes. Chesapeake is also the proud home of E.W. Chittum Elementary, one of the only 7 schools in the entire Commonwealth to have been bestowed the prestigious title of a 2023 National Blue Ribbon School, a prestigious recognition of excellence that only a few schools nationwide achieve. For the 2nd year in a row, Chesapeake Public Schools has retained 100% Purple Star status for their commitment to our military-connected students. Additionally, their innovative approach to school safety in partnership with the Chesapeake Sheriff's Department exemplifies commitment to the well-being of our students and staff. Today, we celebrate the achievements and commitment of Chesapeake Public Schools. The division continues to set the standard for excellence in education, school safety, and community engagement. Madam President, I would appreciate it very much if you would welcome them to the Senate of Virginia.
Indeed, I will. So many accolades. Where do we start? Top 3 employers recognized by Forbes magazine. But I think I want to just touch on this one, and I'm a little bit biased. And it's the military-connected students, and you have an award there as well. And I point that out because so many times when the military receive their orders, dependent upon that is the quality of our schools. Thank you for all that you do to keep the schools top notch so that our veterans and our active duty will want to come to Virginia. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator McGuire, the senator from Goochland.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Now, we had a similar one this morning. Today, visiting the Capitol, we have many FFA students from throughout the Commonwealth. Will all the FFA students please rise? I want to recognize the local chapters from Amelia, Hanover, Goochland, Louisa, Buckingham, Cumberland, and Appomattox County from Senate District 10, my district that I represent, and members or students from all across the Commonwealth. For those who don't know, FFA stands for Future Farmers of America, and FFA is a dynamic youth organization that changes lives and prepares members for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education. FFA develops members' potential and helps them discover their talents through hands-on experiences which give members the tools to achieve real-world success. These FFA members from schools across Central Virginia are our future farmers, chemists, veterinarians, government officials, entrepreneurs, bankers, international business leaders, teachers, and premier professionals in many career fields. Now, there's a statistic out, Madam President, that the average age of a farmer in Virginia...
The Senate will come to order.
So the statistic out is that the average age of a farmer in Virginia is 60 years old and going higher. And considering that the population of the world is going to double by 2050 and the average farmer age is going up, we need more young people involved. So I really appreciate the FFA for that. And I hope that I would like the Senate to give them a warm welcome to these future leaders in the Commonwealth.
Here we are again. This time we get to talk about so many things as the future farmers of America. And I remember one time hearing about a young person who was asked, where does the food come from? And they said the grocery store. But we know it's our farmers, and they contribute so much to our economy. Thank you very much for, again, being among our leaders, our future leaders, which begins now. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Deeds, the senator from Charlottesville.
Madam President, I rise for an introduction and an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, we're pleased to be joined in the gallery today by dedicated members of Virginians for Affordable Medicine. Established in 2020, this impactful advocacy coalition comprises frontline doctors and local nonprofits committed to fostering a more affordable health care system here in America. Through direct advocacy and strategic communications, they work tirelessly to address the pressing issues of accessibility to medical treatment. Today, they are lobbying for a prescription drug affordability board. I'd ask you to welcome them to the Senate of Virginia.
Please rise if you are in attendance. Well, for the record, we will still welcome them to their Senate. They have risen. There you are. Yes. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for recognizing that indeed we do need to do something about our prescription drugs. They have become astronomically high. So thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate.
Madam President, my announcement.
The senator may continue.
Today will be the first meeting of the Rural Caucus at 5 o'clock in room 606A at the General Assembly. The Rural Caucus will hear from the Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry, Matt Lohr, the Secretary of Natural and Historic Resources, Travis Voiles, and Lonnie Johnson, the Associate Director of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Everybody's welcome, and I hope you'll be there at 5 o'clock, room 600A.
Chair recognizes Senator Sudeline, the senator from Roanoke.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. In the gallery today are several members of the Virginia Association of Nurse Anesthetists. They provide care across the Commonwealth, and they are here this week as it has been designated the week celebrating them and their service by Governor Youngkin. And they're also here advocating for several positions, several of which the senator from Northern Fairfax and I are both involved in. And I hope that it'd be your pleasure to give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon. We certainly celebrate our medical professionals, and we celebrate your field in particular. Thank you so very much for being a part of the healing community, is what I would like to call you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Boysko, the senator from northwestern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for 2 introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to bring your attention to the group Fair Healthcare Virginia Coalition. Fair Healthcare Virginia is a coalition of patients, providers, and healthcare groups who are committed to making sure Virginians living with chronic health conditions have access to life-saving treatments that they need. Fair Healthcare Virginia works to raise awareness and educate patients about their rights when it comes to accessing their medications. And the coalition supports policies that protect patients' access to the treatments that they need. And I ask that you give them a warm welcome of the Senate.
Welcome to your Senate. And the fact that patients have rights is, I think, so unknown in so many countries. The fact that a group in particular, not just the citizens altogether, but a patient can have a right is so amazing to me, and thank you for helping to inform them of that. Senators, let us give them all a warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. I also would like to introduce the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors. The Association of Realtors are here as part of their 2024 Lobby Day. It is good to see you all. INVAR is the leading voice of real estate in Northern Virginia and beyond, promoting fair housing, professionalism, and business success among members and preserving the ability of consumers to achieve the American dream of homeownership. With over 13,000 members, INVAR serves the community of more than 2 million residents, and their members produced more than $12.5 billion in transactions in 2023 alone. I ask you to give them a very warm Senate welcome.
$12.5 billion, that's real money that we can't afford to miss here in our economy in Virginia. And we know that many, many decades ago, when your field was not a profession, a group got together and said, no, we're going to have licenses, we're going to have education, we are going to be professionals. And here you are, so many decades later, knowing how to help us to buy, sell, and do so many other things. I may have to consult you soon. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Mulcahy, the senator from Mecklenburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
I'd like to call your attention to the presence of Carson Mentor and Erica Davis in the gallery. These young people are from Southside Virginia Community College that has campuses in Alberta and Keysville. They came by my office. They have big goals, and they have accomplished a lot in their young lives. They have taken advantage of dual enrollment courses when they were in high school and have already made great strides in their education. They're going to be bright entrepreneurs and have great futures in front of them, and they're already leaders in their young lives already. So I'd like for the Senate to give them a warm welcome.
I can tell you that when we look up into the gallery and we see young faces, we know that our future is bright, and you're helping to preserve that for us, because without our young people, we don't have a future. And the fact that you are educating yourself to the point that you are doing dual enrollment is remarkable and admirable. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Hashmi, the senator from Chesterfield.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we're joined by advocates with the Virginia Promise Partnership. The Virginia Promise Partnership is a coalition of parents, child care providers, and advocates from all across the Commonwealth who are working together with diverse groups of leading organizations to achieve the bold goal of ensuring that all Virginia families have access to affordable and quality child care by 2030. Early childhood development plays a critical role in laying the strong foundation for Virginia's youngest citizens, helping to ensure their success in school and in life. And regrettably, however, too many parents across Virginia are struggling to find and afford quality child care that meets their needs and their preferences. Without access to quality early education, young children across the state are not gaining the foundational skills that they need to thrive. With 40% of Virginia's kindergartners beginning the school year, this past school year, without foundational academic and social emotional skills, more must be done to ensure that all of our families have access to high-quality early education. I thank the good work of Virginia Promise Partnership, and I ask that we give the warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon to you. And I see two of our future leaders observing their Senate, something I never did at their age. So they've got a head start. And of course, we know that childcare is very important. We are at a point where we're trying to find our workforce, and providing childcare will help that, to alleviate some of that. So thank you. Thank you for your advocacy. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes the senator from Alexandria, Senator Eben.
Thank you, Madam President. Rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, we're joined in the gallery today by members of the Virginia Apartment and Management Association, VAMA, and the Apartment and Office Building Association, AOBA. These organizations are comprised of dedicated professionals and provide essential housing services to communities across the Commonwealth. AOBA and VAMA are the locally affiliated chapters of the National Apartment Association, representing owners and managers of multifamily residential real estate across Virginia, as well as those companies serving the rental housing industry. AOBA additionally serves as the local chapter of the Building Owners and Management International Association, representing commercial office properties in Northern Virginia. Between the two associations, they manage and a collective portfolio of roughly 63 million square feet of commercial office space and nearly 500,000 housing units across the Commonwealth, generating an annual economic impact of $5.4 billion and 32,000 jobs. Madam President, I would ask that you would extend the warm welcome of the Senate to AOBA and the Virginia Apartment Management Association.
Welcome again. You know, it's always wonderful when I had my apartment, I could just pick up the phone and unload my problems, and all of us feel that way. And it's because of you, your profession, and knowing how to help us. Thank you so very much for being there and understanding the power of your numbers in helping to advocate for change. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Is there any other business to come before the morning hour? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
Senate calendar for Thursday, January 25th, 2004. The VRS impact statements are due for bills filed by the first day of the session. That's a deadline. They're due today. Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on third reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Somerville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate bills on third reading, uncontested calendar pages 1 through 6, Senate bills 232 to 644, be placed upon their final passage in the block. Any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 2 and 3, Senate bills 13 through 613, be placed upon their final passage in the block, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bills? All those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are before us in the block. The clerk will now read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 13, Senate Bill 475, Senate Bill 618.
The question is, shall the bills in the block pass? All those in favor of passage of the bills will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bills in the block pass.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on third reading. Senate Bill 618, Senate Bill 647, firearm transfers to another person from a prohibited person.
Chair recognizes Senator Favola, the senator from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that Senate Bill 47 pass, and speaking to that motion.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. What this bill does is it ensures that our current law is actually enforced. This bill covers individuals who are the subject of protective orders, or an individual who was convicted of assault and battery of a family or household member. And under those conditions, the individual would have to forfeit their firearm for a period of time. That's our current law. That individual has 3 options for forfeiting their firearm. They can turn it over to a licensed firearm dealer, they can turn it over to law enforcement, or they can transfer the firearm to an individual. My bill, one of the changes from current law, is the transferee must be 21 years of age and cannot reside with the person who's the subject of the protective order or the offender. My bill also states that upon sentencing, the offender must turn in a form to the court that says who the transferee will be of his firearm, identifies that transferee, and then the form has to be turned over to the transferee of the firearm. And that is the essence of this bill. And the bill articulates another aspect of current law, stating if there is a situation where it can be presented to a judge that a search warrant is needed to recover the firearm, which is current law, that may take place. This is a bill that came to me after many months of working with the Alliance Against Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence, many nonprofit groups who serve survivors of domestic violence. There is the belief and the reality that individuals are not actually transferring their firearms. This is a bill that really will protect our survivors and keep them safe. It does not expand it doesn't constrain who's going to get to carry a firearm or expand it. This is merely ensuring that the law, which we passed, is actually implemented. With that explanation, I ask once again that the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 23, noes 17.
Ayes 23, no 17. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 134, Economic Development Authority Board of Supervisors of...
The Senate will come to order.
Economic Development Authority Board of Supervisors of Craig County to appoint one member to authority.
Chair recognizes Senator Head, the senator from Botetourt.
Thank you, Madam President. Move that Senate Bill 134 pass. And speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 134 simply adds Craig County to the list of the sparsely populated rural counties where the Board of Supervisors may appoint one of its own members to the Economic Development Authority. With that, I move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, no 0. Rule 36-1.
Ayes 39, no 0. Rule 36-1. The bill passes. For what purpose does the senator from Botetourt rise? Sir, your microphone.
There we go. Having voted on the prevailing side whereby we passed Senate Bill 47, I would like to move that we reconsider that vote.
The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Bill 47 passed be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bill is reconsidered. Senator Favola, the senator from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. Having previously explained the bill, I once again ask that the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 296. Local Planning Commission action on proposed plats, site plans, and development plans.
Chair recognizes the junior senator from Enrico, Senator Van Valkenburg.
Madam President, can Senate Bill 296 go by for the day?
Without objection, Senate Bill 296 goes by for the day.
Senate Bill 316, trees, Town of Vienna allowed to require subdivision development, provide for preservation, etc.
Chair recognizes Senator Salim, the senator from Central Fairfax County.
Madam President, I move that the bill pass and speak to the bill.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 316 allows the Town of Vienna by ordinance to require that a subdivision or development provide the preservation or replacement of trees on the development site such that the minimum tree canopy 10 years after the development is projected to meet specific coverage criteria. Under the current law, the criteria applies to tree canopy coverage 20 years after the development. This bill simply allows the Town of Vienna to catch up to its neighboring counties and cities where they have gone from 20 years to 10 years. Madam President, I ask that the bill be passed.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 28, noes 12.
Ayes 28, noes 12. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 447, firearm in unattended motor vehicle civil penalty.
Chair recognizes Senator Marsden, the senior senator from Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill pass. And speaking to the measure.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. What this bill does is create a civil penalty, what amounts to a traffic violation, if you were to leave a handgun in a vehicle that is visible to anyone outside of that vehicle. Creates a $500 fine and the potential that your car may get towed because it would be determined as illegally parked. Here's the problem that this is trying to address is that we have a significant problem in this country and in this Commonwealth with these handguns being stolen from cars. And it's mostly by young people. I've seen tapes from the state police where kids just walking up and down the street, shaking car doors, trying to get in and get a gun. Youth gang members used to tell me when I was director of the Department of Juvenile Justice, every fifth or sixth car that we stole to run up and down the East Coast for parts involved getting a good handgun as a bonus. We made it much easier to store handguns in vehicles in 2010. Before that, you pretty much had to have a concealed weapons permit to keep it hidden in the car. But now what's happened, because they only need to be secured in a vehicle, that people are taking the handgun and stuffing it down between the seat and the center console, leaving it visible to people on the outside. Now, a lot of people lock their guns in the cars. They cut them out of sight. It's not going to solve that problem, but this is just the beginning of trying to do something to bring to the public's attention the problem that we have here. Just to give you some of the latest things, and I think one of the gentlemen from the other side of the aisle has pointed out that there's really differences in statistics on this. But in Enrico, in 2022, 263 guns were stolen from cars, and halfway through 2023, the police department reported that they were already at 145. Richmond in 2023 saw a 21% increase. Over a 4-year period from, I think, 18, 19, 20, 21, in the Central Virginia area of Campbell, Bedford, Lynchburg, Danville, it was 1,369 guns stolen. We see an increase in crime, and we're just not addressing adequately the supply issue. You know, we're doing all kinds of things with Project Exile and any number of addresses to deal with offenders, and that's fine. But we have to deal with this supply issue, and it is a significant problem. I believe one of the gentlemen pointed out that it was 2,983 statewide. It's about 75,000 yearly in the United States. Let's take a small step here, Madam President, to address this problem, get it to the public's attention through a state law here. I've tried not to criminalize this. We're going with a light touch here, but let's get started in trying to solve this problem that's putting the guns in the hands of young people here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we cannot have our vehicles here in the Commonwealth act as vending machines for firearms. Thank you, Madam President. I move again that the bill pass.
Chair recognizes Senator McGuire, the senator from Goochland. Chair then recognizes Senator Peake, the senator from Lynchburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to speak to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. And I certainly appreciate the problem that the senior senator from Fairfax is trying to address. We've talked about it outside of chambers, and we've talked about it with the senator from Hanover. I think, however, that this bill is taking the wrong approach. This bill is actually going after the law-abiding citizen and ignoring the criminal. The problem we have is that individuals are committing crimes by breaking into cars that are parked on streets and driveways where they are supposed to be. San Francisco had a problem with car break-ins, and I've looked at a story from December of 2023. It had been going on for several years. They were not prosecuting the crime of breaking into cars. Well, they announced a policy in August of 2023 that they were going to start enforcing the laws against breaking into cars. And miraculously, within 3 months, by December of 2023, break-ins had gone down 50%. So what our problem is we are not enforcing the laws against criminals who break into cars. You enforce the laws, they quit breaking into cars. And the senior senator from Fairfax addressed the handgun portion of it. So these are kind of your starter criminals. They're going out there, they're looking for handguns so they can then commit worse crimes by using a firearm. But what it doesn't address is, what if you leave your pocketbook in your car, or your phone in your car, or your computer in your car, or anything of value in your car, they then break into your car, take the thing of value, sell it on the street, take that money, and then buy a firearm to commit worse crimes. We have to stop it at the beginning, and that is by stopping people who are breaking into cars. I ask that you vote against this bill. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Somerville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to the bill.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. So a few things I want to spotlight for you all about this. First of all, we sit on the Crime Commission, and the chief of police of the city of Richmond came and spoke at the Crime Commission and said, this is a huge problem in the city. I think last year there were 358 guns in the city alone. I saw a data point online that there were over 1,000 guns from the 7 cities in Hampton Roads that were stolen in 1 year. Nationally, I would just suggest to the senator from Lynchburg, if enforcement was the issue here, if there was a police department, law enforcement in some jurisdiction that was laying off of enforcing thefts from cars, then I would ask, why is this a national problem? If you look at the rate per 100 people, it's gone from 50 per 100 up to 200 per 100 nationwide from 2011 through today. So it just seems like, I guess, if that's what's causing this, then law enforcement all across America, in every state all across America, isn't enforcing the law on thefts from cars. I would submit that that's not what's causing this. What's causing this is people are trying to steal guns. They want guns. They see guns in cars, and they take them. I also just point out to the body, in my conversations with a certain entity we're talking about building an ice hockey rink with, about why they're leaving Washington, D.C., the crime around MGM, around their existing, the existing Capitol, the Verizon Center, whatever it's called now, the Cap One Arena downtown D.C., crime is a big reason for it. And one of the things they have figured out, the management has realized, is that because crime has gotten so bad around the Cap One Arena in D.C., a lot of people coming from Virginia to visit are bringing a gun with them, which has caused a lot of people who want to steal guns to focus on cars with Virginia license plates and parking decks to take guns out of, because it's a target-rich environment for people who want to steal guns. That's another point they've discovered. And I would submit, Madam President, that we hear a lot about responsible gun ownership. We hear a lot from people about don't pick on people that are responsible gun owners. And I would just submit to the body that, when my son keeps losing his wallet. I told my son, hey, you got your wallet, you got to keep it in your pocket. That's how you never lose your wallet. Well, I have this idea I wear. The reason I wear it around my neck a lot is so I don't lose it. And I have a habit of when I leave Capitol Square, I get in my car, my ID badge goes in my glove box. That's my habit. That way, my ID badge lives in my gun box. In my glove box. I don't have a gun box. But thanks to the law that Senator Marsden referenced, that can now also be a gun box. But we did legalize that in 2010. But I would just submit that responsible gun owners ought to get in the habit of putting their gun in the glove box or their gun box, whatever they want to call it, put it in the glove box every time they get out of their car, and just make it a habit. It's a good habit. It's a responsible habit. It's a way to responsibly treat your weapon. And I think that this bill is akin to the other safe storage laws that we're passing. It's not a big deal. It's a small civil fine, but it's something that will change people's behavior and cut down on this scourge of stolen guns that are happening all across America. I would hope we'd support the bill.
Chair recognizes Senator Obenshain, the senator from Rockingham.
Madam President, speaking of the bill,
the senator has the floor.
I appreciate the senator from Eastern Fairfax comments. I appreciate also the update on what the Crime Commission talked about. Wouldn't know about that. And The gun box, I also would thank my colleagues for the legislation that passed last year that gave us a $300 tax credit for the purchase of a gun safe, and I will tell you that would encourage you to utilize that next year at Christmas time to purchase that gun safe. With that being said, you know, what we're doing here is we're penalizing the victims. We're penalizing the victims here, and frankly, looking for a solution where there really isn't a problem. Yes, guns are being stolen from cars, but they're not being stolen because people are leaving them on their seats. People aren't leaving their cell phones on their seats. They're not leaving their computers in their cars on their seats. It's a valuable asset. Anybody is going to know and understand if I leave or has a gun, if I have it, I'm not going to leave it on the seat in my car because somebody's going to break my window and steal it. It's an invitation to break my window and steal it. This bill is going to do about as much good in preventing those thefts of guns from cars as legislation might do in preventing shopping carts from being stolen from stores by criminalizing the actions of the store owners for the shopping carts that were stolen from them. So, Madam President, I would respectfully submit that this is a solution in search of a problem. We ought not be punishing victims of crimes. We ought to be encouraging safe, responsible behavior like buying those gun safes.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 595, Comprehensive Plan, Locality may consider adopting a healthy community strategy.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Enrico, Senator Bagby.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass and speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. SB 595 authorizes localities beginning July 1, 2024 to adopt a healthy community strategy as a part of its next and subsequent reviews of the comprehensive plan. I hope it's the will of the body to pass the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 28, noes 12.
Ayes 28, noes 12. The bill passes.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on second reading.
Chair calls on Senator Somerville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all Senate bills on the second reading of the uncontested calendar on pages 5 through 9, Senate bills 90 through 677 be advanced to their engrossment and third reading in the block. After the adoption of any amendments thereto, any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar on pages 5 through 9, Senate bills 9 through Senate bills 90 through Senate Bill 677, be engrossed and advanced to their third reading in the block after the adoption of any amendments thereto, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bills. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills are before us. The clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 90, reported from the Committee on Local Government, and there is a floor substitute.
Chair calls on Senator Locke, the senator from Hampton.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we waive the reading of the floor substitute.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor substitute be waived? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. Senator Locke.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to the floor substitute.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, in the local government committee, I did speak to this floor substitute. We simply inadvertently did not adopt the floor substitute. And basically what the floor substitute does is it proposes to revise paragraph A of section 2.2-2348.1 so that the description of the land owned by the Commonwealth of Fort Monroe is currently accurate. And with that, Madam President, I move the floor substitute.
The chair recognizes Senator Durant, the senator from Stafford.
Thank you, Madam President. Move passage of the bill and speaking to the bill.
We're on Senator Locke's floor substitute. Maybe you pushed the button inadvertently. That's all right, Senator. The question is, shall the floor substitute be adopted? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The floor substitute is adopted.
Senate Bill 9, reported for the Committee on Finance and Appropriations. Senate Bill 98, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Favola, the senator from Arlington.
Arlington. Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to.
Senate Bill 151, reported from the Committee on Transportation and from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations with a substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Suderline, the senator from Roanoke.
Thank you, Madam President. Can Senate Bill 151 please go by for the day before consideration of any substitute?
So you're asking it be pulled from the block, sir? Out of the block and by for the... Without objection, Senate Bill 151 is out of the block and by for the day.
Senate Bill 174, reported for the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Chair recognizes, again, Senator Favola, the senator from Arlington.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The substitute is agreed to.
Senate Bill 194, reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations with an amendment.
Chair recognizes the junior senator from Enrico, Senator Van Valkenburg.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move the amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 216, reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations. Senate Bill 257, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor. Senate Bill 425, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with a substitute.
Chair again recognizes Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to.
Senate Bill 655, reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with amendments.
Chair recognizes Senator DeSteff, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Good afternoon, Madam President. I'd like to accept the committee amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 677, reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations with a substitute.
Chair recognizes now Senator Durant, the senator from Stafford.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we accept the substitute.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to. The question now is, shall the Senate bills be engrossed and advanced to their third reading? That is, all bills except Senate Bill 151 on page 6, which is out of the block and by for the day. Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills are engrossed and advanced to their third reading.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on second reading. Senate Bill 171, zoning enhanced civil penalties for violations involving non-permitted commercial uses. Reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendments, and there is a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the senator from Chesapeake, Senator Craig.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the committee amendments be agreed to.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The amendments are agreed to. Senator Craig.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the reading of the floor amendment be waived.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator Craig.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the floor amendment be agreed to and speak into that measure.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you. This friendly floor amendment just takes the fee back to its original fee in current law as it is right now. So the first offense, it just moves it back to $200.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The floor amendment is agreed to. Senator Craig.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I ask that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading.
Question now is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading.
Senate Bill 14, sales and use tax, local, additional tax authorized in all counties and cities to support schools. Reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations.
Chair recognizes Senator McPike. Senior Senator from Prince William.
Thank you, Madam President. Move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third read.
Question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 146, sales tax, local, Prince Edward County added to list of localities that are authorized to impose. Reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations.
Chair recognizes Senator Mulcahy, the senator from Mecklenburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 166, financial institutions, certain payments required electronically. Reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator Reeves, the senator from Orange.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the committee amendment be agreed to.
The question is, shall the committee amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The amendment is agreed to. Senator Reeves.
Thank you, Madam President. At this point, I would move to engross and advance the bill to its third constitutional reading.
Question is, shall the bill now be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 241, excuse me, Workers' Compensation Notice of Right to Dispute Claim. Reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Chair recognizes Senator McPike, the senior senator from Prince William County.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third read.
The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 360, Covenants Not to Compete, Healthcare Professionals Civil Penalty. Reported from the Committee on Commerce and Labor with amendment.
Chair recognizes.
Floor substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Van Valkenburg, the junior senator from Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, with the recommendation that the amendment be rejected, I move that the substitute be agreed to. The amendment be rejected. Yeah, that's what I said.
The committee amendment.
Committee amendment.
The question is, with the recommendation that it be rejected, shall the committee amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendment is rejected. Senator Van Valkenburg.
Madam President.
Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the substitute on Senate Bill 360 be waived.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor substitute be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading will say aye. Those opposed, no. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the substitute be agreed to when speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. We looked at this bill and debated in committee and liked it so much when the good junior senator from Henrico proposed, taking out of the non-complete agreements healthcare workers. But when we started to think about it, frankly, it should be applying to all. Right now, across America, it's estimated roughly 18% of all workers are subject to non-compete agreements. That's roughly 30 million people that have their economic freedom limited. Their most valuable thing on this earth is your time. And what it does is it impacts your family, your ability to pursue your dreams, or maybe even start your own small business. And so, Madam President, this substitute will now essentially ban non-compete covenants in the Commonwealth of Virginia and making sure every individual has the ability to compete and excel in their most important thing, which is their family, their economics, the ability to earn more for their families. And I thank the good senator for bringing this bill, and I think this is the right move. I think otherwise we'll end up into adding in more and more professions over time, and I think it's time we probably do this one time and do it right. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the McPike floor substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The floor substitute, the ayes have it. The floor substitute is agreed to. Senator Van Valkenburg.
Madam President, I move that the bill be engrossed and passed to its third constitutional reading.
The question now is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading.
Uncontested calendar. Senate bills on first reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all the Senate bills on first reading on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 12 through 18, Senate bills 5 through 605, that the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading of the titles of Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, Senate bills 5 through 605, pages 12 through 18, be dispensed with? All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move all the bills go by for the day.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on second reading go by for the day? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills will go by for the day.
Memorial resolutions.
Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the memorial resolutions on pages 18 through 20, HJR 68 through SR 11, be considered in the block in the usual manner, waiving the reading of the resolutions thereof with the understanding that any senator desiring to remove a resolution from the block will do so after the clerk has read the title of the resolution.
The question is, shall the memorial resolutions on pages 18 through 20, House Joint Resolution 68 through Senate Resolution 11, be considered in the block in the usual manner, waiving the reading of the resolutions thereof with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the title of the resolution. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are before us in the block. The clerk will read the titles of the memorial resolutions.
House Joint Resolution 68, celebrating the life of Pablo Teodoro II. House Joint Resolution 71, celebrating the life of Julius L. Branscombe. House Joint Resolution 75, celebrating the life of Alan Roberts. Senate Joint Resolution 42, celebrating the life of Patricia Page. Senate Joint Resolution 43, celebrating the life of Janet Marie Brooking. Senate Joint Resolution 51.
Madam President.
For what purpose does the senator from Eastern Fairfax County rise?
Could SJ 51 go, I'm sorry, not 51, the one right before that, Brooking. Could that go by
43?
43, could that go by for the day?
Without objection, Senate Joint Resolution 43 is out of the block and by for the day.
Senate Joint Resolution 51, celebrating the life of James Marlin Patton. Senate Joint Resolution 52, celebrating the life of Jackie Duquette Hunter. Senate Joint Resolution 53, celebrating the life of Helen Dolores Bandy. Senate Joint Resolution 54, celebrating the life of the Reverend Dr. Salathiel J. Henderson. Senate Joint Resolution 55, celebrating the life of Zenobia Helen Miller Taylor. Senate Joint Resolution 56, celebrating the life of Michael Anthony Harper. Senate Joint Resolution 60, celebrating the life of Annie Delilah Jones Doggett. Senate Joint Resolution 62, celebrating the life of the Reverend Henry C. Lee. Senate Joint Resolution 65, celebrating the life of Ivan Herman Tepper. Senate Joint Resolution 66, celebrating the life of Charles Craig Hines. Senate Resolution 5, celebrating the life of Jack William Nerney, Jr. Senate Resolution 9, celebrating the life of John Robert Tabb. Senate Resolution 10, celebrating the life of Alan Earl Castine. Senate Resolution 11, celebrating the life of Richard Edward Rayleigh, Jr.
Accepting Senate Joint Resolution 43, page 19, which is out of the block, the resolutions will be agreed to in the usual manner. All those in favor of agreeing to the memorial resolutions will please rise. The resolutions are agreed to.
Commending resolutions.
Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move that the commending resolutions on pages 21 through 23, HJR 69 through SR 22, be considered in the block by voice vote, waiving the reading of the resolutions with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution.
The question is, shall the commending resolutions on pages 21 through 23, House Joint Resolution 69 through Senate Resolution 22, be considered in the block by voice vote, waiving the reading of the resolutions with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are before us in the block. The clerk will read the numbers of the resolutions.
Commending resolutions. House Joint Resolutions 69, 70, 73, Senate Joint Resolution 13, 44, 45, 50, 57, 58, 59, 63.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Hashmi, the senator from Chesterfield.
Thank you, Madam President. Can SJR 63 come out of the block and go by for the day?
Without objection, Senate Joint Resolution 63 is out of the block and by for the day.
Senate Resolution 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 22.
The question is, shall the resolutions be agreed to? That is, accepting Senate Joint Resolution 63 on page 22, which is out of the block. All in favor of agreeing to the resolutions will say aye. Those opposed, no. The resolutions are agreed to. Senator Sorovel.
Inquiry of the clerk. Does that complete the calendar?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Hearing none, the clerk will now report any announcements on the desk.
Today, Thursday, January 25th, the Committee on Transportation will meet 15 minutes after adjournment, Senate Room B, GAB. The Rehabilitation and Social Services Subcommittee on ABC will meet 15 minutes after adjournment in Senate Subcommittee Room 300, third floor, GAB. Senators Rouse, Reeves, DeStuff, Jordan, Williams-Graves, Perry, and Salim. The Education and Health Subcommittee on Public Education will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room C. Senators Van Valkenburg, Locke, Peake, Pekarsky, and Craig. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Education will meet at 3 p.m. Senate Finance and Appropriations Room, 13th floor, GAB. Senators Locke, Lucas, Obenshain, Stewart, and Hashmi. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Resources will meet at 4 p.m. Senate Finance and Appropriations Room, 13th floor, GAB. Senators Lucas, Deeds, Locke, and McDougall. The Rural Caucus will meet at 5 p.m. in Senate Subcommittee Room 600A, GAB. Tomorrow, Friday, January 28th, the Committee on Rehabilitation and Social Services will meet at 8 a.m. Senate Room A, GAB. The Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Capital Outlay and Transportation will meet at 8 a.m. in Senate Finance and Appropriations Room, 13th floor, GAB. Senators McPike, Deeds, Locke, McDougall, Obenshain, and Boysko. The Education and Health Subcommittee on Health Professions will meet at 8:30 a.m. Senate Subcommittee Room 300, third floor, GAB. Senators Boysko, Pillion, Bagby, Head, and Pekarsky. This is a room change. The Committee on Rules will meet at 10 a.m., Senate Room C, GAB. The Republican Caucus will meet 45 minutes before session in Senate Room 2, Capitol. The Democratic Caucus will meet a half hour before session in Senate Room 1, Capitol.
Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow.
The question is, shall the Senate adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow? All those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The Senate is adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.